Nobody's going to go in business with Vince McMahon. Nobody. However, Shane McMahon is as clean as a whistle. It's got nothing to do with the new company. It's got nothing to do with the WWE. Vince is cashing out all this stock. You don't think Vince is behind Shane fishing around at AEW, bro?
Let's talk about Shane McMahon. There's some talks, there's some discussion. I think speaking of Conrad Thompson, I think he was the one who mentioned this. He's saying that it's not as out of the box or impossible or not going to happen or no way, Jose, that you think. You see what I did there? So Shane McMahon, there could be a possibility of him working for AEW. Vince Russo, what do you think as someone who's worked with Shane McMahon before?
Bro, this is not about Shane working for AEW. This is about them buying AEW. This is not it. Bro, Chris, I'm telling you this firsthand. When Vince brought Tyson into the WWE and he attached Shane to Tyson's hip, bro, Vince wanted to take over Tyson's management. That's what he wanted. That's what and he wanted to be Tyson's promoter. If Shane is fishing around at AEW, bro, this isn't to be a performer on the show. This is much, much, much bigger than that. And Chris, we have had discussions about Vince taking his billions and billions and billions of dollars in stock and buying another company. We've had those discussions, Chris.
Mm-hmm. So if Shane is talking with TK, first of all, Vince, do you think with TK just being so enamored of running his own wrestling company, do you think a dollar amount would surpass him desiring to continue to make matches because this is his wet dream as a kid?
I just think, bro, if failure is staring him in the face, in other words, the licensing deal does not get renewed by TBS and TNT, and they're having a problem finding a partner. How does that make him look? What are you going to do, bro? You're going to put the show on YouTube? If it comes down to something like that, bro, that could be a strategic exit for him where he doesn't look like a complete failure. If he knows he's having a trouble getting a television deal, and then he sells the company to a Shane McMahon who literally is buying it probably for his dad, then he can get out of a situation without looking like a total failure.
Do you think that he's aware that Shane would buy it for eventually Vince, and that would be considered a failure for TK if that were to happen? Vince.
No. Because I think it's all about the way it's presented, bro. It's all about public relations. I think that's what it's all about.
But I don't know, man. I don't know if I think you're giving Tony Khan too much credit, man.
I do think.
Go ahead, EC3.
Yeah. Just to touch on that before I would forget, is that I think Tony would still have the naivety and the aspect of this business that everything's fun and friends and playtime happy hour and stuff like that, where if they were to be trying to do something like this, it would come in the guise of this Trojan horse. I didn't even think about it till Vince brought it up, but like it would be something like, oh, Shane's gonna work for me, blah, blah. Like it would be some giant thing that had been backroom plotting while Tony's gleefully just writing on a whiteboard, dream match, dream match, dream match, dream match, splooge, dream match, splooge.
Yeah.
So,
but if the Warner deal falls through and everything has to go on YouTube, You don't think that still would be what you just explained? EC3, wet dream. I mean,
bro,
dream match.
Chris, are you saying that if even if they went on YouTube, it would be this?
It was just fun and easy and breezy at that point. Easy, breezy, beautiful.
Yes.
You think on YouTube it would be easy, breezy cover?
I think they would probably do a paywall like ROH. ROH is behind a paywall for absolutely no reason. No one cares about Ring of Honor. No one cares that it's behind a paywall. It makes absolutely no sense. I can see them getting some type of app deal or something like that and being behind a paywall.
Bro, what would his old man say? What would Shad say, bro?
I mean, Tony has the money. I mean, he's his own 40-plus-year-old man. He can do whatever the heck he wants to.
What do you think about that, EC3?
Yeah, this is. I kind of wish it started with me because I would have entertained the idea, but now it's just like I'm in conspiracy land and I'm seeing Zach Galifianakis start numbers and crunching and this playing into that. Yeah, I do think. All right, WWE is going to Netflix. The business landscape has changed. Maybe cable television isn't paramount. If anybody can start something with some juice, it's probably a multi-billionaire. Network relation-wise, but that's just even more money invested as opposed to money made based on a television deal. I mean, a paywall. Let me ask you this: if there is a paywall, say AEW $10 a month, are they going to retain the $750,000 they get for Dynamite? Or
that's a great question.
But okay, if they do half that, and part of my math, but say 350,000 times $10 is whatever times 12 does that equate to a television deal at the 25 million, 50 million mark? I don't know. I couldn't do the math.
I think you guys are thinking small. Listen, Chris, listen. EC3, listen.
Okay.
Of the McMahon family, who's not working for the WWE?
Everybody.
Triple H is still there.
That's
Triple H. Yeah, Triple H is married to Stephanie. Shane's got nothing to do with that company. Bro, nobody's going to go in business with Vince McMahon. Nobody. However, Shane McMahon is as clean as a whistle. It's got nothing to do with the new company. It's got nothing to do with the WWE. Vince is cashing out all this stock. You don't think Vince is behind Shane fishing around at AEW, bro?
No.
Tell me why.
I don't because Vince and Shane, they haven't been in cahoots for years.
Yeah, but bro, that was then. That was then. You don't know what the relationship is now, bro.
Yeah, but I don't think Shane would want to work with. I mean, he made the decision to veer away from the WWE. He had a lucrative spot in the WWE. He has not came back for any type of executive spot in WWE in 10 years.
Chris, I understand that, but you also had brother-in-law go out at WrestleMania. It's a new era. You had sister. This is the era of Triple H. Bro, they're burying your dad. They're burying your dad. And you don't think there aren't issues with Shane and Hunter and Stephanie to begin with? Bro, I hear what you're saying, Chris, but I think a lot has changed.
I'll give you that. There's probably beef within the two. But at the same time, I'm not buying Shane and Vince working together for a deal that's going to force them to work together for an extended period of time, because it hasn't worked. And
I don't think it forces them to work together.
So you think Shane is going to sell his stock to Vince?
I think Vince put Shane in charge. I think Vince put Shane in charge. I do, bro.
With his ego, you think he's going to?
Yeah, Chris. Listen, let's be logical. And EC3, please chime in here. Let's be logical.
I've just seen the parlays and current political structure. who's really the president of this? The background feelings. I feel it's coming a late 90s Attitude Era episode of Raw, and this it's just an unfolding in front of me. It's a grand scheme. Come on,
Chris, you are a father. Vince McMahon now is in his 80s. There is a possibility of Vince spending the rest of his life in jail. Is this not a possibility where now, as Vince reflects back on his life, I treated my son like a piece of, I'm sorry, Chris, and I've got X amount of time to make up for that. Is that not a possibility as a father?
Absolutely not.
Really?
With someone who has narcissistic tendencies.
Really? Never.
With someone who has narcissistic tendencies, absolutely not. And you work with Vince. You know how much of a narcissistic tendencies that I don't care how it is.
Wow.
Well, first of all, it's a civil case. It's not a criminal, so he's not going to go to jail for it. So he's going to be out.
But he's being investigated by the federal government.
Oh, the feds. Yeah. Okay, say even if he goes into jail, someone who has tendencies of a narcissist, he's going to blame it on everybody else. He's not going to have like a moment of, humility and say, oh, wow, no. Narcissist needs intense therapy to get out of those tendencies. It takes especially narcissism. It takes intense levels of therapy for narcissists. There's some psychologists who would even say that people with NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, it's impossible to reverse the tendencies. I don't agree with that. But I do think it takes a high level of intense therapy to get someone out of that. And I don't think Vince McMahon would even touch a therapy office. Wow. Not any chance.
I put it all together over here. Okay?
Go ahead.
Hear me out. Okay. First off, to my brief studies in the art of psychology and human emotion, everything Dr. Chris says about narcissism is true. When I was reading and listening to The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene, and he was describing narcissists, I was like you just know exactly who he's talking about. And then each field that he's talking about at a high level, all right, a gentleman like Vince McMahon may fall in line. So never. He's saying never. Never would he ever do that, because it's so far gone. He's so far gone, would never happen. Or, hear me on this, he's doing it for that reason, because I did turn over a new leaf. Look at me now. I'm a new man. I want to make my son right. I did all these great things. And then here comes the big old switch afterwards, because he was a narcissist all along. It's a double play.
Now, for the sake of manipulating, for this grand scheme of manipulate and using his son as even a pawn in this big grand scheme, yes. Now that is something that I can agree on. Yes. I don't know if Shane would be. I know Shane knows Vince enough as his father to know these tendencies. I don't know if he would fall to that, but for the sake of using Shane as a pawn of this grand scheme, yes, I can definitely see Vince wanting to use Shane for that.
I will finish with this. The answer lies in, does Vince still have the mustache or not?
Give me a yeet. Give me a yeet. Give me a yeet.
Yeet.
Yes, indeed.
Yeet.
Yes, indeed.
Yeet. 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 Yeet.
Wonderful. Great discussion, fellas. All right. We got Vince Russo. We got EC3. I'm Dr. Chris. This is the Wrestling Outlaws. Have a good night, buddy. Solo.